Hey there, this is Malorian, and now we're on to the second day of the Brawler Bash tournament. The first day, it didn't go that hot. I went 1 and 2, got some really small point days, small point games, and I really need to come back. I mean, at this point, I know as far as like the race for the YouTubers, I'm out of the race. Anthony and Once Been, they're way ahead of me. I just am now focused more on I want to win more than I lose. So I got to get 2 big wins today, and this first game is going to be up against Dwarves. Now, the cool thing with the Dwarves is actually all set up to be Vanguard list. So all the big blocks have the Vanguard rune on them, and they're supposed to get in your face. So I was like, oh yeah, we're going to fight. Unfortunately, my opponent was actually, smart and decided, you know what, I'm not going to Vanguard this game. I'm going to kind of stay back, shoot a bit, and then we'll fight. But it was a great guy, and it was going to be a great game, so let's check it out. Alright, so the first thing I want to show is this army was awesome. When I was going around the armies taking pictures lunchtime during the last day, there's a bunch of really cool armies out there, and this was one of them. Had this really big display board with all these really interesting conversions, and this is the best one of them all, this is a gyrocopter, which he converted up based off of like a toy from the beginning, but plastic car and all this stuff. Yeah, really awesome conversion, and it's gonna be a really great looking army. Otherwise, what it looks like here is this is actually going to be Dawn Attack, except the way that they change it is that you just need to have at least 2 units in every zone. So I need to keep most of my stuff together here. The far right side is going to have my Savages and Night Goblins, but here's my other 2 hordes of Trolls, got my River Trolls, got my 2 units of Night Goblins here, and there's also my War Boss and the little BSB there. For him, he's going to be a little messed up with that little mountain there, the little hill on the left, because he basically has to put some of the stuff behind it. But he has, from left to right, Rangers, Flame Cannon, I believe those are also Rangers, or not Rangers, Quarrelers, his Slayer unit, then he has his Warriors with Great Weapons, and his General is in there, his Dwarf Lord on Shield Bearers. He also has a Runesmith in there. Then Hammerers with his BSB and other Runesmith. You can see his Gyrocopter, which vanguarded up behind the building. And then over here, you can see the rest of my stuff. And he has another unit of Rangers, another unit of Quarrelers or whatever, and also a cannon. Now, I used a card for first turn, but unfortunately he saved up a lucky day for this and stopped it. So, yeah, it'll be alright. Otherwise, he's basically needing to spend this time just moving up. The flame cannon goes up in the hill, the cannon shoots and I regen it, and that's really it. He doesn't really get too much done on his turn. Over here on my turn, I fail my frenzy test, forced to charge, and I fail it, so that was unfortunate. Otherwise, the Night Goblins come over here, and I am really hopeful I'm going to move up, I'm going to release my Fanatics, kill this thing, but unfortunately I do not quite get within 8 inches, and it's alright. Otherwise, it looks like this. I'm really just moving up, and this is, the way it's supposed to be, right? No animosity first turn, no problems, so I'm really rushing up. I'm going to have to really deal with that Flame Cannon fast, because it's going to really hurt me. But first I have to deal with those Rangers on the left. I actually get the lore Metal this game, which is cool, because this time I can actually do stuff. And I have Searing Doom and Final Trans, and so I try and change his unit with his General into gold, but he stops it, and with his Dwarf Trickery also destroys the spell. So, sad face, but what can you do? His turn, his Gyrocopter comes up, gets within 8, I release Fanatics, and they don't make it. So, unfortunately now, the Gyrocopter is going to have kind of some free reign, but, yeah, maybe I can give it a Searing Doom. Otherwise, his flame cannon hits my trolls, and that really hurts because first, he decimates the unit, and secondly, the card I used, what I'm trying to do is keep my most expensive unit over half, which would be these guys, and as said, they were decimated. So otherwise, it looks like this. His rangers are there to redirect me, which is annoying, but otherwise, he didn't do too much more to me. Looking at this though, I now can go after his flame cannon. So the plan is that I'm going to go after the rangers, go after the flame cannon, overrun into the other unit, and the river trolls can just kind of block everybody else from flanking. However, I fail my needing it as 6 to get to that flame cannon, so they're going to fail, but the other trolls, they're going to get in there and do their thing, but that means I have to eat another turn of flame cannon. Otherwise, I'm just kind of turning over here so I can do that Searing Doom. However, he stops it because he has another scrolly type thing. So, what can you do? Otherwise, yeah, this is what it's looking like. I kill those rangers on the left. I am just kind of now set up to get up there and fight. And on the right, or over, sorry, this is now on his turn. His flame cannon actually explodes. So this is huge because, as you already saw, those flame cannons can do massive damage to trolls. And so first of all, he just doesn't do that damage. And second of all, it was going to be another thing in my way that I have to take time to kill. Now with it gone, I can just get right in there. And I also want to show here with it being a misfire, you know, it's one of the dangers of the new flame cannon that with it being -1 on the roll, basically half the time if it misfires, it's going to explode. But man, it's worth it. You know, those flame cannons are just so deadly. And yeah, when they hit, they just rip units apart. Otherwise, over here, he moves up to redirect this unit. And this is really what it looks like. So one of the more questionable things he did is he pulled his general out of the unit. Now this guy's a killy bastard where he does the master rune of smiting. So he does d6 wounds for every wound he does. He's not flaming though, although he has a lot of flaming options in his units. But this is going to allow me to have a chance to Searing Doom him. So on my turn, I charge in here and I'm hoping to overrun into the unit of Quarrelers behind. Over here, I'm able to charge into these Slayers, and I'm looking forward to kill these buggers. And otherwise, I just kind of reform here, but the biggest thing I do is I 6 dice Searing Doom. I am looking forward to this, because the guy has a 1+ save. I'm just going to crush him. No, he stops my spell. So, you know, the Wizarding Hat can give you such awesome spells sometimes that are just like perfect for the situation, but at the same time you're only a level 2 and sometimes the dice don't go your way, so that's what happens here. Otherwise, I slaughter the Rangers, overrun, and come short by 1 inch, so sucks, but it happens. Otherwise, it looks like this, killed tons of the Slayers, and really at this point here, I'm just waiting to now engage the rest of his stuff. So on his turn, the Hammerers charge into here. Don't get me wrong, they're going to crush my River Trolls, but luckily since they go last, I can actually kill a bunch of them first and soften them up. Otherwise over here, his General charges in, and he does have a champion here that has like a flaming rune. I tried to kill him last turn, but just like 6 attacks was wasted on him. But otherwise, yeah, he's going to hurt, but at least I get regens against that because the General is fast. Fast, I guess, compared to us since he's Initiative 4. Anyway, this gyrocopter is flying around and being a jerk and killing my bunkers. And after combat is all done, his Hammerers beat up my trolls, but I get away. The worst part of it, though, is it also panics the Night Goblins, and they were going to be my next bunker, and now they're running away. So that was unfortunate, but otherwise, I beat up a bunch more Slayers. His General breaks from combat. His other warriors tried to get into my trolls, but failed to charge. So it looks like failed charges go both ways. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So on my turn, I charge into these guys and look forward to an easy win. And over here, charge into his main unit. I would have loved to charge into the rear of the Hammerers, but luckily he had already voiced his plans that he was just going to flee, jump over the building, and be safe on the other side to conserve the points. So definitely hearing that, yeah, let's just go up and kill these other warriors. Plus, even if he would have held, all of a sudden my bunker would have been really in trouble. So it's best to keep my lines together. Over here, Night Goblins go off the board and the Trolls fail to rally. You know, these guys are going to end up off the board, so my opponent's going to be bagging these 720 points. Otherwise here, I beat up these Quarrelers, but unfortunately for me, my dice rolls are really here with all the attacks, these guys should be slaughtered. But I kill all but 2 and they get away. So at this point, I'm hoping they go off the board, because if they don't, I'll have to waste another turn going after them. So otherwise, it looks like this. The Slayers are all done. I'm now killing a bunch of these warriors. Oh, it feels so nice to making these attacks. There's so many attacks. We're just crushing things. The bunker moves up so that it can't see me, it being the gyrocopter. And yeah, we're loving life. We're doing what trolls should do. We're killing stuff. So basically then after that, his Hammerers reform to look around. His general rallies. I kill both the units I was looking at. Gyrocopter comes over, does some more flaming nastiness, and that's really it. On my turn, I charge in, and the nice thing is when I destroy, or if I beat the general, I'm going to overrun into these warriors and automatically destroy them and get those points, so that's going to be nice. The Hammerers, there's lots of Hammerers, but he's not going to get the flaming against me, and without that, I'm just going to kill so much before he gets to even swing, and then I'll get regens against his attack, so I'm really going to have the advantage in this fight now. Otherwise over here, he ran off the board, which was awesome because now I get to reform the face of this cannon. And then after it looks like this, so I beat up the general. He's a real tough bugger. I believe he's like toughness 6 and all this stuff, 1+ save. So I just puke all over him, do 3 wounds. He breaks and I fail to catch him, but I do go into the other unit, catch all those points. Against the Hammerers, I really beat them up. And since my bunker has nowhere to go, they just face the gyrocopter and hope he comes to fight me, actually. So on his turn, he charges into me. So I actually win that combat because he actually does a wound to me, but I do a wound back. I have a banner, I have a BSB, but he holds. So, what can you do? Otherwise, he rallies with his general again, and then I beat up all of his Hammerers and do a wound to his little priest here. He breaks, but he gets away. So, either way, I lose out a bit of the points there, but I get all the points for the Hammerers and the BSB, which is well worth it. Otherwise, on my turn, I charge him, and he goes through the building, so I'm going to miss out on these points, but meh. And then I go into the cannon, and this is going to be a pretty easy fight. And I go into the general. Now, this is a nice thing to see here that my opponent wasn't a jerk. What he could have done is fled, because then he'd keep the points alive. However, this is Brawlers, right? You get nothing for the point difference. You only get the points for what you destroy. So fleeing only screws me over. So nice to see he decides to do the Brawlers thing and fight it out. And otherwise, yeah, so what happens here is, let's see, the one combat there, he's going to hold. I'm going to do a wound to him, he's going to hold, and then otherwise he comes into me here and holds combat as well. So, yeah, because he does no wounds to me, I do no wounds to him, I get 2 combat res from the 2 banners, and he holds. So that's the game, all done. He has some pieces left, being just these 2 here, but yeah, pretty big win for the Orcs and Goblins. So there you go, a big win for the Orcs and Goblins. Definitely a big turning point is when that flame cannon misfired. Of course, I'm maybe a little bit unlucky to not get that charge, but man, if that flame cannon would have done its damage again, shooting again, let's say cutting that other horde in half, the game would have been completely different. But overall, it was just a really fun game. Even though it was really one-sided once I got there. We were still having fun and joking the whole time. And it's not often that, you know, I really delve and talk to people, you know, after you're talking like your shop, or like, oh yeah, how'd the game go? You know, we talked even past that and talking about like, oh yeah, what do you do? Turned out the guy was into like nanophysics and doing research evaluation, all this really cool stuff. And it's one of those things where like, well, you know, this is a really cool guy, you know, like we could actually hang out each weekend, you know, that'd be awesome type thing. So either way, you know, it was a really, really great game, both as far as fun and as well as points, right? I got lots of points here, which was nice because I was getting near the bottom of the tables and I want to be above half. Plus now I'm 2-2, so it's all going to be about the next game, whether I'm going to end up winning more than I lose. Anthony and One Spittin', they also got big wins as well, so they're way ahead of me. So I'm really just focusing on myself now at this point. But thanks for watching, and we'll be right back with game number 5.